caution. Yellow is back on the track. We got a major crash through the tri-oval. Car on fire coming to the line right here in front of us. It's Ted Musgrave's car, front and rear. And Bonnet's car is also involved in the incident. There are 4 or 5 cars that have crashed here in the tri-oval. There is Neil Bonnet's number 31 torn up front and rear. The Musgrave car is torn up. He's told his crew that he is okay. You're in Neil Bonnet's car. After it took a serious hit, you see the crew coming out, some of the safety crew coming out to that car. There's the 55 of Musgrave.
Fireman right Johnny on the spot to put that fire out because it was right in the fuel cell area.
Lap 131. Bonnet's car lies in the grass just at the bottom of the track as you exit pit road.
Wow, his car gone upside down and then comes back on the wheels as we see Musgrave's car sliding up against the wall, flames coming from it as he comes across the start-finish line.
Into the catch fence went the Neil Bonnet car number 31.
You can see the debris, a tremendous amount of it.
From inside of Bonnet's car.
No brakes.
Oh, thank God.
He's getting out of that baby.
Oh, my God, thank you. Oh.
Say a prayer, Mark. Yes, sir, buddy.
Let us all. Well, we have had a major crash here at Talladega right in front of us, and the car that gave us the biggest scare was Mark Martin, and we can only breathe a sigh of relief to see him get out of that thing because he was without brakes and went a long way, hit 2 guardrails in the process, and finally came to rest against another guardrail and a catch fence. Others involved include Todd Bodine, Jeff Burton there in the number 8 car. Boy, let's take a look at what happened.
Here we see Todd Bodine. He's going to be involved. Now, Jeff Gordon comes down. They're going to get 3 abreast, and Todd Bodine doesn't know that. He gets touched by the 77 car of Sachs. He goes down, hits the 24 car. Sachs, the 8 car, spins, and look at all these cars behind. They got no place to go. Watch Mark Martin. He's hit someone. He has no brakes.
Hits the inside retaining wall, and then he goes out of the picture, but he goes through another. We'll see it here. Now watch him. He hits the inside retaining wall. That's the car up in the middle of your screen. Hits the Die Hard 500 sign. Shoots through a guardrail right here. Goes right on through it. Mows it down. Still at top speed and hits another fence and then the guardrail and finally comes to rest.
He had to be going 100 miles an hour when he hit the end of that guardrail and then went over to the second guardrail where he finally came to a stop.
That was a wild ride, and thank God he got out of there.
Man, oh man.
There are only 2 cars here in front of us that appear to be disabled besides Mark Martin. That's Bodine and Burton, and there was Mark Martin getting out of the car. He appears to be injured, possibly.
Bobby Hamilton trying to get out of that pack of traffic as Earnhardt dived underneath, trying to take the lead going to turn number 1. He squeezes Bobby Labonte high. They go side to side to turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the bottom, digging hard. Labonte sideways, nearly brushes the wall. Earnhardt takes the lead out of turn number 2.
Now
They're crashing. Ricky Craven is in the wall. 15, 20 cars sliding everywhere.
Here comes the battle for the lead. Earnhardt Jr. down low. Here comes Tony Stewart to the high side. Jeff Burton trying to close in. His car flattened on the rear end, on the hook, on its way to the garage, and they've just righted Bobby Labonte's Interstate Batteries Pontiac. They've just flipped it over on its wheels and are attempting to load that up on a rollback, but looks like all the other cars are away except for Ricky Craven. His car, too, is in the process of being hooked up to a wrecker.
And also Robert Presley got a piece of the action over there, but Bobby Labonte made a little contact. He and looked like Bobby Hamilton, and then it was on. The whole field was right behind him, and it will collect quite a bit of damage to several machines.
We'll grab a word with a couple of drivers when they come out.
I'm counting like 16 cars that were involved in that. Bobby Labonte, Buckshot Jones, Ricky Craven, Terry Labonte. The car of Dale Jarrett was involved, Bill Elliott, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Jason Leffler, Rusty Wallace involved.
John, all of a sudden, a bunch of cars go by you on the outside.
And you're still wide and say, roll, what?
Whoa, trouble. The 2-car upside down, over and on to Scott Riggs.
It's the big one.
Oh, boy, who is that still flipping?
Sauter. It was Johnny Sauter.
There's not anybody left.
I mean, I only see about 4 or 5 cars that are coming around through 3 and 4 right now that were not in this race. They see Mike McLaughlin in 18. They're still getting upside down people, cars driving under cars. There has to be 25 cars over there.
There's Michael Waltrip. Damaged Lyndon Amick. And you see the 2 of Johnny Sauter.
Here comes
Scott Riggs, last week's winner.
Here comes our leader, Stacy Compton.
Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace,
Kevin Grubb, who has come from 38th up to the top 5.
Todd Bodine with damage.
A little bit of damage on the front end.
Not much.
Jeff Purvis.
Drivers climbing out. There is Ron Hornaday.
Look at that
going over toward Jamie McMurray.
Shane Mill in the 47 car.
Youngest driver in the race
Joe
at age
Nemechek.
21. Nemechek wrecked.
What a mess.
Coy Gibbs out of his car, and his teammate Mike McLaughlin is the car that landed on top of him. Kind of reminiscent of a big Daytona wreck. Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte ended up that way.
I don't know if I've ever seen a wreck this big in a Busch Series race here. I don't know if I've seen a wreck this big, maybe even in a Cup event.
One time here in back in the 70s, Tiny Lund was in it, and a lot of other guys. And
23 cars, that
23
one, I think.
23 cars, yeah.
Oh, Meal got into Riggs.
It looked like Riggs had to maybe back out of the throttle a little bit because Kenny Wallace's car washed up as they come off the exit of turn 2 right there, the 48 car. Right here, this is turn 2. Kenny Wallace, the 48 car right there.
Oh, I don't know. It looked like Shane Meal possibly just got into the back of the 10 car.
The 47 car, yeah.
Yeah, got into Riggs. Look at that 2 flipping. Looks like Rusty Wallace's flip in the number 2 Winston Cup car here not many years ago.
And when it hit the grass, it even tumbled more. There's Randy LaJoy. Greg Biffle.
Oh, Biffle.
There's
Jay
Kerry Earnhardt.
There's everybody. Jack
Sprague, our point leader.
And the track's completely
Tim Sauter. All the Sauters.
I think we did the right thing by saying who wasn't in it.
And because the track's blocked, NASCAR has displayed the red flag because the cars can't even get through on the back stretch.
It appears to me maybe 10 or 12 cars is all that's left. Boy, that 2 car went over big time and then gets hit, tumbles. That car's, look at that thing, Larry. It's turning every which way.
And then the 21.
And then he gets in the grass. Watch this.
Shot across.
Gets hit again.
Johnny Sauter, number 2, out of his car. And okay.
Amazing.
Michael Waltrip. Kenny Wallace.
What a mess.
And there, as Larry explained, you saw Kenny move up the racetrack without any contact with Scott Riggs.
Oh, we got a car sideways in the trial. Is out and somebody upside down. Elliott Sadler again lands on his wheel.
He landed on all 4 wheels, and when does that?
That's Ford Burton there.
Those guys just all squeezed down. Yep. He got hit in the right front fender, turned his car inside the racetrack, and the worst thing you want to do with a race car, get on the grass.
The roof flaps deploy, but not enough to keep that 38 on the ground, and Elliott Sadler takes the Talladega tumble.
At least it didn't tumble like it did last year.
He's getting better at this.
Yeah. Oh, and Scott Riggs on his roof. Oh, Riggs. Man, there's been a lot of cars getting on their roof lately.
Right behind Mike Wallace.
Stay up, stay up. Easy, back it down as much as you can.
Wow, that's not what you want to see out of your windshield.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm okay.
But you're racing such tight quarters that it's just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I mean, it's like, you know, none of these deals are intentional, but you're racing such tight quarters that it's just being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
From the flag stand.
And it's hard to give an inch on these deals.
Another multi-car wreck here at Talladega brings out the caution. Jamie McMurray is scored as the race leader. Tough day for the Chasers.
And comes to rest on its wheels. A horrific crash here at Talladega on lap 26 involving Kyle Busch, and thankfully the window net is down. There, the safety crews on the scene immediately, and Kyle Busch is climbing out of that car. Wow, listen to this crowd.
Well, that's a true testament to the safety of these race cars. See him just jump out of that car like that. That was what would look like a very violent wreck, but man, he just jumped right out of there. It's a real testament to the safety features that these cars have.
Yeah. Let's show you again here. That doesn't take much here. Now, Kyle Busch, left side of your screen in the 5 car.
Because you can get yourself out there, and all of a sudden the air's changing, and just a horrific wreck. But once again, Kyle Busch gets out and walks away.
We sure did a lot of damage. It looked to me like right here, as we watch this, it looked like that maybe they all started stacking up. It's hard to say that, you know, Tony Stewart wasn't getting some help from behind him, maybe even further back than right behind him. Like they're all just kind of stacking up.
Yeah. Yeah, when that happens, usually because everything changes, the air changes, and what you've been doing right there, you might have been wide open at that time. And then
one car makes a move, another one just gets a slight tap, and
drops down to the middle lane. Now all the way down to the bottom. His closest pursuers will just follow in his tire track. Here comes Ryan Truex up high. Whoa, trouble off turn number 2. Getting turned and spinning his Dexter safety. Hard impact with the inside safer barrier, and they're wadding it up further back.
And further in front of them, Blaine Perkins, end over end, side over side. The car barrel rolling down the back straightaway. It has come to a rest on all 4 wheels, but a horrific crash for Blaine Perkins with others involved. But Blaine Perkins, the main focus of attention, who just went for a horrendous tumble down the back straightaway at Talladega. See safety crews on the scene now, with others having been dispatched and on the way to him right now. Jeff, it has been a long time since we have seen a crash like that at Talladega. The car darted straight up into the air and then began tumbling and turning gyrations over side, end over end, parts and pieces coming off the race car. The car is on all 4 wheels, but what a hellacious crash for Blaine Perkins on the back straightaway.
We counted 5 times he was upside down, at least for a split second or more. It's that just scary crash over in the Alabama Gang super stretch here, just 2 laps shy of the end of stage number 2. But Dave Moody, it all started over there in turn number 2.
It did, Alex. When Dexter Stacy got turned on exit to turn number 2, he slid down to the inside, really walloped the inside safer barrier.